What about from your perspective, Buvey? Generally speaking, beating Manchester United is going to be worth its weight in gold. It's often been a title decider. It's often been a title indicator. If you beat Manchester United, certainly if you do the double over Manchester United, as Man City have this season, you are champions. Manchester United aren't really that team anymore, are they? Does this still feel as special as maybe it felt when Ben Jarney scored a winner?
There was something flat about United performance today, and that they're limited because of Højlund. We were talking about it off air a little bit, and it was like, this United side aren't perfect. They've got a lot of gaps in even how they approach games. In my opinion, I don't think Ten Hag's the right manager long term. But there have been some quality moments from United, and it's mainly from Højlund, who's form in the league recently has been absolutely superb. Their performances against Aston Villa in particular, fantastic. So do United get up the pitch and hold on to a lead better than they did with Højlund, who's got a lot of pace, a lot of power, then
I think you're putting too much stock on Rasmus Højlund. You're talking about Højlund like he's Ruud van Nistelrooy.
I think he's right because we haven't even got another striker.
No.
So there isn't an alternative to Rasmus Højlund.
Bruno.
We had Bruno was occasionally our highest man forward and McTominay. So I actually agree with him. Now, we may still have lost the game, granted. But having Rasmus Højlund there, someone... Because a lot of the times today, the ball was going up and then we were losing it. Whereas if he's someone that's going with John Stones or going with Kyle Walker and just giving him a little bit of a more difficult
I think
time.
having a striker is obviously better than not having a striker.
But Højlund does a lot in terms of the dirty work up top.
They still lose the game, probably.
Yeah,
possibly. But no, we have a lot more on the counter-attack.
Yeah,
a lot more on the counter.
Of course you do. And a lot more belief. It's just, I think Højlund on the pitch helps Johnny Evans. I think it helps Lindelof because they can go up the pitch a little bit more and there's less pressure. They're so close to their own keeper that any shot, Phil Foden was able to score that kind of goal because the ball pops off to him and they're already so close to the goal. United were far too deep today. Whether that's down to Ten Hag or not, we don't know.
I think because if we open up, we get battered.
What's happening, everyone? I'm terribly sorry to interrupt this clip. I do hope you're enjoying it, but this is huge news that you need to hear. £500,000 could be yours. £500,000 could be in your skyrocket simply by predicting 6 football scores correctly. That's right. Super 6 are giving you the opportunity to win £500,000. They are employing the rollover system. So make sure that you download the app. The link is in the description below. Predict 6 scores correctly and you will win £500,000. If you don't do that, if you don't get the 500 grand, there's still good news. You finish top of our mini league and you could be playing for us at a former Premier League stadium against those boys from Pitchside. Enjoy the rest of the clip.
Yeah,
I know. Look, we lost 3-1 in the end.
Yeah.
But if we open up, we get battered.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We can't open up and just go, will they attack us? Let's attack them. I think that's a naive way to look at it. We had to do what we had to do, but unfortunately, we couldn't.
You're going to win the league, Booth?
I think we'll beat them at Anfield. If we do, I think that's
do you actually think you will?
Yeah, I've got to believe in City. You've got to believe in the City side.
Remember when it was 1-1 and 1-0?
There's a lot of emotions from you today.
Football changes.
No, I know.
At the start of the season, everyone's got the equal opportunity of winning the league title. Luton could have won the league title and things changed.
Okay, calm. Nice and calm. This is a rational conversation. I'm being calm. The reason I mention that is because I feel like I just want to make sure that when people are listening to this podcast, they may listen to it on the build-up to the game, may listen to it on Friday, for example, as just, or even on the eve, or even on the day of the game at Anfield. I know that, at the moment, there's a euphoria, in the immediate days after a victory in a derby, there's euphoria from you.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you if your confidence in winning at Anfield is linked to the euphoria of seeing your team very recently win against Manchester United. So if it is, just try and rein that in a bit, and let's not be affected by the result against Manchester United too hugely. Are you going to beat Liverpool?
I think we've got a better chance now, showing what we've shown in the second half of this game, to beat Liverpool. I think Liverpool also got massive gaps in their side. They could have easily drawn the game 0-0 to Forest. They could have easily lost the game. So they're not perfect. I know they've got a fantastic set of results because of their mentality and stuff like that. And I back Liverpool hugely. But what we saw in the second half was scary good. This Man United side aren't great, but they're still one of the best sides in the league. They're a side in Champions League football this season, and they didn't have a touch of the ball in the second half. They were completely miles off it, and we can debate if that's Ten Hag or Højlund or whatever, but ultimately the side that won it controlled the game to a level that is very, very rare. You will not see a side dictate play for 45 minutes like City did, trying to chase a winning result. It was huge. This City side are on fire, man.
I think that's true. Do you know what? On the spirit of focusing, or at least talking about the game that's going to happen next week, it really is huge. You could say that it is going to be the seminal moment in the season. You could say that it's going to be the title decider. Whoever comes out victorious when Liverpool play Manchester City at Anfield will probably reign supreme.
And it's an amazing thing to say because City have won there only a couple of times in 18 years.
Right.
and there's only been a couple of results, during COVID and stuff like that. So City have to go to Anfield and get an absolutely massive result, and it's in our hands.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like Liverpool, can, I'm not saying get away with, they can kind of manoeuvre through some of these fixtures with the injuries that they have. Playing against Nottingham Forest, they can manoeuvre through that. Against Man City is where it's going to really count. Yeah. Where you're going to miss those big players that aren't available. Are there any notable names coming back that we should know of? It doesn't really seem like it, does it?
We're fully fit. I think Haaland's fit and De Bruyne's fit.
Salah's got to be knocking on the door. You think from a Liverpool perspective?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Salah's got. It's not all about you, mate.
Coming from 1-0 down, coming from the kind of shock of what an amazing finish that was from Marcus Rashford out of nowhere, really. Almost the only shot on target United had the whole game. I think for City to come past that and kind of get back in the game and then score 3 goals, huge in the Premier League title race, because you're going to get hurdles, you're going to get setbacks. To do it in the Manchester derby was absolutely massive for City in our belief, I think.
What about your overall play? Do you think that you deserved the victory? Were you surprised that you went a goal down? I'm just trying to understand how this victory, how this performance, the impact that it has on going to Anfield next week.
I think in the second half, I think you'll look back in a couple of days, Thursday, Friday, before the Liverpool game, and think City were really good in the second half, controlled the game exceptionally well, recycled possession, put pressure onto the highest level. And now it's 19 unbeaten in all competitions, and it's the kind of record where it could be 20, it could be 25 by the end of March, April, do you know what I mean? So it's a huge result, and I think Phil Foden in particular is someone that you have to look at and think he's operating at the highest level, even if he doesn't score goals in games, which is rare because he scores a lot of goals. He's approaching 20 goals this season. His total contribution to a football game is of the highest standard you can see in world football.
I completely agree. Mr. McKola.
City always do that, innit? You know where they go, where people go, City they'll win 20 games in a row at some point in the season, and then you think it's not going to happen.
And then it does.
Quietly they go about it, and next thing you know, Buvey's telling you they've won 20 in a row, and you're like,
is that what it is?
Well, 19.
Approaching 20 unbeaten. There's a couple of draws in there, right. Drew the
to go on some unreal runs. Phil Foden, man, he's coming of age, and just before we go on to Man United, you just got to talk about Phil Foden. A lot of talk about whether he's world class, whether he's not world class. He's one of the best players in the Premier League, especially when he's on form like that. For such he's not young in terms of age, but young in terms of maybe like he's never been the senior figure. He's never been the main man for a club, and it looks like he's becoming that now. Yeah. For Manchester City, stepping up with big moments, winning the Manchester derby for him. And you look at the 2 goal scorers. Both these clubs buy billions pounds worth of talent. And it's 2 lads from Manchester rocking up, scoring the goals and deciding the Manchester derby.
Absolutely. How damaging do you think this one is, Adam, for you? Because I don't think Manchester United have been in fairly good form, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't think this is the damaging one. I think the Fulham result was a damaging one because you let Villa and Spurs get past them.
Is this damaging, though, combined with Fulham?
Oh, yeah, of course. But we never, again, it tells you where we are. I'm not happy about this fact, but never expected to beat Manchester City. So I don't think you can go, well, we lost top 4 there, or we lost Champions League there. It's been prior to that, but we needed to get a result today. And maybe, you get a win here at Man City where you're not supposed to get a result, and you go, well, that's written off the 3 points we lost against Fulham. Maybe we're kind of back into this. Yeah, I think top 4's gone.
What are you hoping for then? I'm surprised to hear you say that top 4's gone.
We're not getting that. Because, I knew it once we lost against Fulham.
It's Villa and Tottenham. Like they're not insurmountable teams.
Spurs again coming from behind. You have to look at what the other teams are doing. Aston Villa. It was comfortable for most of the game. I know Luton came back into it a little bit, but another win for them. You've got to rely on both of them as well dropping off, not just one of them, because I don't think 5th's going to go to the Champions League. So looking at all those things taken into consideration, I think it's out of reach for us. I don't think it's realistic to expect it. Now, they can, of course, drop off and drop points, and that's the hope, but I don't think that will happen.
Did you expect more from
I didn't expect more. I expected what we got. I thought in the first half, Varane was amazing. I thought Onana was very good in the first half. And in the second half, apart from the second Foden goal. And I thought Johnny Evans did really well as well. There were moments where, you're not happy with the way we're defending. But ultimately, I feel like if we were going to get a result at City with the players we had available, we had to play like that and had to try and sit on the counter-attack. And actually, there were times in the first half where probably could have done better and got an extra opportunity or got a second goal out of it. And if you do that...
Rashford one, it kind of bobbled to him at the end. It kind of came over to him and he didn't really get his shot off. And then there was another one where he tried to head it into his path.
Yeah.
But Marcus Rashford's been in the spotlight.
Amazing goal. Amazing goal from him, especially considering he's been in the spotlight. But again, with Marcus Rashford, like, I don't think his performance was particularly great against City, but he scored that goal, and that's the ability he has. But how bad was you seen the goal he scored at the Emirates, the goal he scored at the Etihad, and to be on the losing side both times must be so annoying.
Yeah,
such fantastic goals.
Yeah.